And so we're going to see two places where God speaks. Two monologues of God. And the first one is chapters 38 and 39. And we'll begin at the beginning of chapter 38. It says, "Then the Lord answered Job out of the whirlwind." Where did the whirlwind come from? We haven't heard about a whirlwind being there at all. If any of you have ever lived in the desert, you can see those, that we call them the dust devils, come spurring up through the desert, and you can see them. It's like if you were like me and didn't have your glasses on, you'd go, "Who is that? What is that?" Powerful. And now there is a whirlwind. It says God spoke, the Lord spoke to, or answered Job out of the whirlwind and said, "Who is this who darkens counsel by words without knowledge?" At the very beginning we looked at Job's friends and we said one of their problems was they were bringing counsel without knowledge. And here God says to Job, who is bringing counsel without knowledge? Job, you're talking about stuff that you don't know about. You're talking about things that you don't have the knowledge for. Now prepare yourself like a man. Stand up, Job. I'm going to question you. You've been questioning me. Now I'm going to question you and you answer me. Where were you when I laid the foundations of the earth? Tell me if you have understanding. Who determined its measurements? Surely you know. Or who stretched its line upon it? To what were its foundations fastened? Who laid its cornerstone when the morning stars sang together, and all the sons of God shouted for joy? Or who shut in the sea with doors when it burst forth and issued from the womb? When I made the clouds its garment, and thick darkness its swaddling band, when I fixed my limit for it, and set bars and doors, when I said, this far you may come, but no farther, and here your proud waves must stop. Have you commanded the morning since your days began, and caused the dawn to know its place, that it might take hold of the ends of the earth, and the wicked be shaken out of it? It takes on form like clay under a seal, and stands out like a garment from the wicked. Their light is withheld, and the upraised arm is broken. Have you entered the springs of the sea? Or have you walked in search of the depths? Have the gates of death been revealed to you, or have you seen the doors of the shadow of death? Have you comprehended the breadth of the earth? Tell me if you know all this. Where is the way to the dwelling of light? And darkness, where is its place? That you may take it to its territory, that you may know the paths of its home. Do you know it? Because you were born then? Or because the number of your days is great? Have you entered the treasury of snow, or have seen the treasury of hail, which I've reserved for the time of trouble, for the day of battle and war? By what way is light diffused, or the east wind scattered over all the earth? And he goes on in this same way, asking and asking. Well, were you there? Well, then tell me how this works. Tell me exactly, how does light, you look up at the rainbow and you go, there's light coming through, and it's divided into all these colors. Just tell me exactly how that happens. Well, maybe if Job lived in the 21st century and was a physics geek, he would go, well, it all has to do with the frequency of the light and the various blah, blah, blah. But that's not what God is getting at. Okay, so you've figured out that there are different frequencies to the electromagnetic spectrum. Good for you. He's the one who created light. He is the one who said, let there be light, and there was light. He was the one who established the difference between light and darkness and set a boundary between them. He's the one who set the earth on its foundation. But wait a minute, Pastor, isn't it a globe circling around it? Yeah, but it's on a foundation, isn't it? It's not a foundation like this building. But there are the laws of physics that have set the earth so that it is where it is, so that we're not flying off or squashed like bugs. All of those things have been established. And basically what God says in these two chapters is, I am the Lord of all nature. He says, I'm the creator. He goes on and says, I'm the ruler of all inanimate nature. I've set the boundaries for the earth and so forth. He goes on, if you skip down to verse 39, he starts talking about the fact that he is the Lord of animate nature, or that which has life and breath. He says, can you hunt the prey for the lion, or satisfy the appetite of the young lions when they crouch in their dens or lurk in their lairs to lie in wait? Who provides food for the raven when its young ones cry to God and wander about for lack of food? Do you know the time when the wild mountain goats bear their young, or can you mark when the deer gives birth? God has set all these things in place. My daughter Kelly gave me a birthday present, and it's the BBC series documentary on DVD of Planet Earth. It is awesome. I have so much fun watching that thing. You know, because when you look I forget the guy's name who narrates it, but he's a real intellectual sounding kind of guy, and it's a nice voice. It's actually a comfortable voice to listen to. And he's always saying, well, we know that these birds migrate this year. We don't know exactly why, but we think this. And God's saying, well, I know why. I told him to do it. I set this whole thing up. Yeah, look at it. Be amazed. Just wonder about it. Enjoy it. And I do enjoy it. There's this one section that I think I showed everybody in the family so far. And if you come over to my house, I'll show it to you. Because it's the bird of paradise. Have you ever seen a bird of paradise? And there are actually hundreds of varieties of birds of paradise. But there's this one that does this dance to try and attract its mate. And birds of paradise in the particular area, at least this one where it lives, they don't really have to do much work. Their area is pretty much taken care of. But what they'll do is they'll kind of clean up their area. And then this bird of paradise has these wings that looks like a big screen behind him with this variety of colors. And he starts dancing. And they've got this shot of this guy dancing, and this female's there kind of going, no interest whatsoever. She watches for a while, and finally she just kind of wanders away, Guys, you know what I'm talking about, right? You try your best. Yeah, okay. Right. But it's just amazing to see. It's phenomenal to see. And God is saying, look at all these things. I created them. I was the one who set this whole idea of this time-space continuum. That was my idea, and I set it in place, and I'm still taking care of it. I'm still making sure that it's working. I didn't just set it into place and say, okay, let's see how that one works. No, he's still taking care of it. He's still taking care of it. And so if you flip over to chapter 40, and wonderful poetry through here, but we don't need to hit on each particular point as we've been going through. But if you turn over to chapter 40, where he brings to an end this first discourse where he's saying, I'm the Lord of all nature. It says, moreover, the Lord answered Job and said, shall the one who contends with the Almighty correct him? He who rebukes God, let him answer it. He's speaking to Job. And he poses a question. Shall the one who contends with the Almighty correct him? There are times in our lives when we contend with God. We don't like the way things are going. We don't like what his word says about some situation. Hey, God, I don't... are we sure that's in the original language? Was this book supposed to be in here? And we wrestle with those things. And we contend with God. And contending with God is okay, provided you remember who God is. Shall the one who contends with the Almighty correct him? Are we there to say, oh God, that part in here? We ought to change this. Brothers and sisters, that's what many Christian, I put in quotes, organizations are doing today. They're taking this book and they're saying, well, that might have worked 2,000, 3,000 years ago. Yeah. But we are much more knowledgeable today. I mean, gosh, we've got all this science and computers and digital things. We know a lot more. And so we can, okay, we'll leave it in there because we don't want to tear it out. But we'll just totally reinterpret it from its obvious natural meaning. It's going on. It's going on big time. Right now.